Welcome, folks. Dragonfly Darting here with another edition of what I'd like to call messing with everything darts. And this has got to do with dartboards. If you've seen my last couple of videos, you know I like to mess with my darts. I've been modifying my darts for quite some time now until I found out the balance, the shape, and the weight of the darts that were right for me, or at least right at this current time. I got to a point where I like the darts. I sent them to Peter Pereira up in Canada. He made my own Dragonfire custom darts. And if you saw my last two videos, you know what they look like. But anyway, this edition is all about dartboards. And my Bomb Squad League started yesterday, September 3rd. I play my first match tomorrow night. And my current dartboard was starting to have a lot of bounce outs. So I figured I'd buy a new dartboard for the new league season. And no discredit to any of the manufacturers. Some of the dartboards are pretty pricey out there. And if you play a lot of darts and change your boards quite often, you don't want to be paying $100 or more for a dartboard. Well, my coach, Dynamite Dave, he's had some Mission Samurai boards for quite some time now, although we just shoot on other boards, of course. And the latest edition of the Samurai board, the Xfinity, I think it's cost. It's pretty pricey. But so I decided to get a Samurai 2. And this is what it looks like. It looks pretty good, as you can see. There are no veins in there in the white part. You can't see any discrepancies or bad parts in there. After I do this little short video, I'll do a review of that board. And my local league I used to play in used to use no-do boards. And I've been using them for quite some time now. They're a good board. They were fairly reasonably priced at about $50. But because of COVID, the price went up, and now $80 plus tax makes it $84.80 plus the gas to go to my local store to get one. You're pretty well much paying $90 for a dartboard. The Samurai 2, $49.99 on Amazon, free shipping. Came in a few days, no problem. But unlike the No-Door Supermatch 3 that the league uses now, and I'll show you one of them now, they come with these little wheels on the back. And if you can see them, they screw out and back in, so you can tighten up the board against the wall. Well, when I was preparing the boards for the league, I kept all spare parts just in case somebody needed any. I have some of the wheels right here that came out of the dartboard. And I even have the screw-in adapter, which these screw into. And you can see they're pretty aggressive. I've got all these teeth around there. And the end of it right there is 5/16. So you drill a hole in the back of the board. All you need is a drill with a 5/16 bit in there. And I'll show you on the Samurai 2, I've already started it. And also the no-do boards come with this double-headed screw. You screw it in so far till it can't go any further, and it obviously sits on the bracket you have on the wall. You say, I already have one of these done here. Now the Samurai comes with these little bumpers, which you nail, that's already marked around the board. Right there, there's little holes for the nails to go in. Although to get the nail in there, you can see the hole is inset into the board. You're going to need a little punch to get the nail all the way in. But anyway, I've already drilled another hole. I use these holes for the bumpers as guidelines. They're about 3/4 inches away from the edge of the board. And I took one of the, what did I do with it? I took a couple of these inserts off an old board. All you need to do is drill that 15/6 hole, start it off, Oh, no. Let me get this leg here. Start it off, get it in the hole, and tap it in with the hammer. And the little feet screws right in there. So of course you don't want to drill a hole too far down, just far enough so that the little bolt that's attached to these just goes in. I haven't screwed this one in, drill that one yet. I'm not going to drill it in the carpet, so the wife will get mad at me. I'll drill that later and put it in there. And that's, you can just reach inside the board when it's on the wall and tighten up against the wall. Now, if you don't have any of these, if you're handed like I am, you can make your own. I got like a 1 1/4 inch piece of dowel. I stuck it in my lathe. Actually, I stuck it in this way. I drilled a hole right in the middle, just enough, big enough, or a little less. This is a M6 bolt. The ones on the no-door come with the metric threads. Drill a hole just slightly smaller than the biggest part of this. Tap it in, and then if you don't, and then cut it off about 3/16, 1/4 inch, maybe 5/16 thick. There's no pressure on it, even though it's, tap a little glue in there, you're good to go. These are about 5/8 inch long bolts. You see a board is about 1.5 inches thick. So you go halfway in, you're not going to mess with the board, and you're good to go. Now, if you don't have one of these boards that has these extra parts in there, you see this one here still got some of the glue on there from being in the board. Like I say, make your own. Depending on what kind of surface you're mounting your board on. I even put a piece of caulking on this one. If you don't have any of these, a no-door board to use, you can buy what are called rivet nuts. Oh, you can see that this is a rivet nut. These are used for joining 2 pieces of metal together. This one is M6 again. This will screw right in there. But you have to drill a hole slightly, just so this is snug. Put some glue on it because there are no teeth on there. Actually, what this is used for, like I say, joining 2 pieces of metal. You put the tool in there, squeeze it, it will draw this in. This will bulge out to fasten the 2 pieces of metal together. So if you're handy, like I am, or I think I am, you can do that yourself. One other thing I did, I know this is kind of crazy probably. I even took some of the metal bands out of a board that I was going to throw away. And if you've seen some of my videos, you may have seen a board in the background. I made my own quad board. So I took some of this metal. I measured halfway between here and here. And just tapped them in, cut them to fit between each one. Tapped them in with a hammer. Colored it in with a magic marker. And you're good to go. You can buy these probably for a couple $100 a piece. I use this as a novelty board. It hangs over there behind me. I have used it and I've almost hit. Actually, what I hit one time was I had 2 in the quad 20. The second dart bounced out and hit the quad 3. Just for something fun to practice on. So that's how to put leveling devices on the back of your board. If you want to try that, I will go put the other one on there. And the next time I come on here, I'll do a review of that board. So for now, see you later. So for the start of this part of the video, on my review of the Mission Samurai 2 dartboard, I put my old board, the no-door Supermax 3, up on the wall. I have my microphone right up against the board, and I'm going to throw a few darts at the board. close to where the microphone is. I hope you can hear this. Fairly pronounced sound of the darts hitting the board. Okay, there's 6 darts at the old board. I'm going to pause it for a second while I change the boards back to the Mission Samurai 2. So now I have the Mission Samurai set up, and you notice I have this little level made by Unicorn, fits in the double 20. Always use this when I put a board up there. Make sure the 20 is totally vertical in the same place every single time. So let's check a few of this board. You notice that's a lot quieter than with the other board. And this might not seem very important to you, but say your board is mounted on a wall next to a bedroom. Somebody might be trying to sleep in there and you're chucking darts at the wall. Not a big thing, but something I noticed about this board. And though you might not be able to see it on the video, the white sections of the board are not quite as bright as some boards, but they're good enough. You'll see there's no defects anywhere on the board. Now, one thing I do like about this board is the wires are not set flush with the board. They are sticking out maybe a little less than a millimeter. And the bullseye is set in quite a little bit more than a millimeter. But I like this because when the dart is in there, there's no mistaking whether it's in or out. Some of those boards, like the no-door, stick this one up here, they're almost flush with the board, and sometimes from a distance from the Aki, you might not be able to tell whether it's in the triple or not. Little thing again, but if that's important to you, go for it. But overall, I just played my first match in my league. I didn't do too very well, but that's beside the point. But apart from the fact that the darts don't make that much noise when they land, they stick just fine. The board is solid. So, like I said before, nothing against any of the manufacturers. Most of them are pretty damn good boards. So if you can't afford to buy a Windmill Blade 6 at $100, buy a Mission Samurai 2 for $50. And there we go. Just a quick review. I like the board. I'll get another one when this one wears out. And I'll see how long it takes to actually wear it out. I do practice every day, whenever possible. A couple of times, maybe even 3 times a day. Plus my matches that could last like 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how they go. Yeah, you see, I've been being able to hit the triple 20 quite decently. I haven't hit a ton 80 yet. I have hit a ton 40 on it. Yesterday when I was practicing, I did a Jose de Souza. And if you know what that is, that means I hit 3 double 20s. And that's neither here nor there either. Overall, a great board. I recommend it. And like I said, I'll buy some more. Unless the price of boards come down, and I'll try some more. So for now, shoot well. As always, Dragonfly always says, light 'em up. So after playing back the video, I'm not sure whether you could hear the dart hitting the board or not, but take it from me that Mission Samurai 2 is one quiet board, and your darts hardly make a sound when they hit the board. So, bye for now, and we'll see you next time.